Y'all know that I'm on team Let the Birth Rate Plummet to Hell, and I get excited about these birth rate articles. So CNN put this article out a couple of days ago. Children aged 14 or younger now make up less than 12% of this country's population. We're about to talk about Japan. Japan's estimated child population has shrunk for the 44th straight year to a record low, government data showed Sunday, as the country grapples with a demographic crisis underscored by falling birth rates and a rapidly aging population. The number of children aged 14 and under was 13.66 million as of April 1st, down 350,000 from a year ago, according to data released by the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication ahead of the country's Children's Day public holiday. Children make up just 11.1% of Japan's total population, which stood at 123.4 million last year, making it a marginal decline from the year prior. By comparison, the proportion of children to the population was roughly 21.7% for the US in 2023 and 17.1% for China in 2024, according to respective government figures. The demographic crisis has become one of Japan's most pressing issues, with its birth rate continually declining despite the government efforts to encourage young people to get married and start families. Japan's fertility rate, the average number of children born to women in their lifetime, stayed relatively flat at 1.3 in recent years, far below the 2.1 required to maintain a stable population. For decades, it's been on a downward trend that has also seen the number of deaths overtaken births each year, causing the total population to shrink, with far-reaching consequences for Japan's workforce, economy, welfare systems, and social fabric. In 2024, this is big, y'all, the country recorded 1.62 million deaths, according to the health ministry, more than double the number of births. The number of marriages rose only slightly, up around 10,000 from the year prior, but remained low, figures showed, while the number of divorces also rose. Experts say the decline is expected to continue for at least several decades and is, to some extent, irreversible due to the country's population structure. Japan is a super-aged nation, meaning more than 20% of its population is older than 65. The country's total population stood at 123.4 million in 2024, but by 2065 is expected to have dropped to about 88 million. There are several factors to explain why fewer people are opting to marry and have children. Experts say this part will resonate with y'all. Experts say including Japan's high cost of living, stagnant economy and wages, limited space, and the country's demanding work culture. Japan has a deeply ingrained overwork culture. Employees across various sectors report punishing hours and high pressure from supervisors, leaving many young people of child-rearing age to focus on their careers rather than starting a family. They have a structure, they have a political climate, they have a work climate that is not conducive to pairing up. And instead of fixing that, they're just like going to write articles and put out data. It's like nobody wants to address the root causes of anything. Increasing living costs, which have been worsened by the weak yen, a sluggish economy, and high inflation, have contributed to public discontent, experts say. The government, however, has sought to soften the impacts of its changing demographics, launching new government agencies to focus specifically on boosting fertility rates and incentivizing marriage. It has launched initiatives such as expanding childcare facilities, offering housing subsidies to parents, and in some towns, even paying couples to have children. Several of Japan's neighbors, including China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and South Korea, have also struggled with population decline, as do several European nations such as Spain and Italy. However, unlike many of their East Asian counterparts, European nations have been far more open to immigration to soften the aging of their societies. China, until recently, the world's most populous country, saw its population fall for the third consecutive year in 2024, with the number of deaths outpacing new births. India has now overtaken China on the population size. Now, like they're saying about that these Asian countries, they are very homogenous. They are antagonistic a lot of times to foreigners. And so they're like, nope, we don't want you. We don't want you. We don't want you. We would rather die a slow death than to make policies that make sense, rather than to cut down on work culture, and rather than to have people come in that are foreigners. So we're going to continue to watch their population decline. Now, I live in a country that is also antagonistic to immigrants, pushing immigrants out, and our birth rate is standing strong at 1.6. I have a feeling that immigrants were the ones that were helping to keep that number boosted. So I am wondering what is going to happen during this Trump administration after they have been so antagonistic to women that live here and the immigrants to push them out. So I wonder what's going to happen to that. Now I want to talk about India, because down here it says India has now overtaken China on population size, but they're also facing their own demographic struggles. All right, so this is an article from Business Today. More women, fewer babies. Mohandas Pai says aging population is India's next big crisis. Mohandas Pai, who has also served as chief financial officer at Infosys, noted that the whole of southern India is already below replacement fertility rate. So here is Mohandas Pai. India's demographic shift towards an aging population could soon become its most pressing crisis, warned Mohandas Pai, chairman of Aaron Capital, during his keynote address at Stanford India Conference in 2025, citing hard data and long-term projections. Pai says India's biggest problem is going to be aging. So they're probably also going to get to the point where there are more deaths recorded than births as well. We've got 130 million people above the age of 60 today. It'll go to 200 million people. India is aging very fast. India's fertility is down. Indian women are dominating, and Indian women are going great guns, Pai said as he highlighted the sharp drop in birth rates across the country, especially in southern states. Pai, who has also served as chief financial officer at Infosys, noted that the whole of southern India is already below the replacement fertility rate. India's population growth is at 0.8. Fertility has come to 2.0, below replacement rate. The whole of the South is at 1.6 to 1.7, and we are at 1,020 women for 1,000 men. We have more women than men in India. Pointing to regional disparities in growth and fertility, most people in Delhi sitting in JNU don't even look at data and bemoan the lack of employment. In the South, we have no people for employment. People come from the north to come because UP is now growing and is very good, and we want UP to grow. Bihar is yet to grow. We get people from Jharkhand, West Bengal, which is a failed state, and Kerala, etc. They all come to Bangalore and then the South to work, and we have a shortage of people. This part will sound familiar. On the gender and education front, Pai highlighted a notable reversal in trends. Today in good news, we have more girls in school than boys. Many of the boys are rowdy, boys who come out of school. Out of 100 kids entering class 1, about 80 complete class 10. In the age group 18 to 23, only 28% go to college. More women graduates than men. More women are coming out, and more women are coming out in UP and Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. So this sounds like the United States as well. This sounds like the global trends where more women are going and finishing college than boys. The boys are going to have to step their game up because women are saying, I'm not doing it. Get someone else to do it. I'm going to skip to the end of this article because I want to get to this part before my 10 minutes is up. He says, stressing the need for a cultural shift, he concluded, this is another reason I prefer a rural life and I actively embrace our traditional culture. I want to pursue economic development that is pro-babies. In the long term, nothing else matters. A lot of these men want to keep on rolling back women's gains because as women gain more, they have financial stability and they don't want to be paired up with these men, is basically what I'm hearing him say. Y'all join the conversation. Let me know what you think. All these men keep saying the same thing. The patriarchy is tearing everything up. Demographics are going down. Let me know what you think. Chime in, like, comment, and share.